It is not easy to run a radio station. Just to put that transmitter, the transmitter that we put there, we thank God that in Enana, for example, the transmitter that we got in Enana, someone just donated a 50,000 for us to buy that transmitter. That's a lot of money. So for us to put just that is just one transmitter, and it was cheap. Others are going above. So for us to put new radio stations, we need money. For us to run our radio stations, as you can see them, we need money. We have young people that have volunteered at the moment that are busy working in our radio stations. If I will tell you the amount that we are paying them, you will run away from here. It's just a small peanuts that we are giving them. But by the grace of God, they are committed to ensure that the gospel mission moves. And that's why we are even inviting all of us to ensure that we come together and fund mission work.
We want really to thank the Lord for that. And that is really in line with the mission of the mission of the church. Why we exist as a church. Like the president always says, the gospel is this gospel. We should be disciples, all of us, and take this message to the corner of this world, and then the end shall come. I think AWR is doing that. I always pray for it in my small way, because they are doing a very good job. I listen to it, even here in Katima, sometimes I will listen to it, but I'm just want to get. I was worried one day when I was listening to the radio. I don't know how do people get there, because someone was saying who was there at that time. I had not recorded the day, but I think he was saying something that I think was not in line. Okay, they were using their own opinion, like on COVID. No, he was saying it's the position of the church, how the church should respond to COVID, whether the people should go for the vaccine. I was really a bit uncomfortable.
The issue of some people in the station, we are using volunteers. These people, we trained them. But when we train them, we just tell them how to use the microphone, how to use the mixer, and so forth. They are not theologians. This is why we need our elders here, our pastors, to come on board and be able to be part of our programs. If somebody, I spoke, and I think we had that meeting with the conference last time here, when the issue of COVID and so forth. And I was saying, look, the conference, the radio station is here at the conference. So if somebody, our young people, they are not trying to tackle a lesson, for example, on COVID properly, there's nothing wrong with our qualified staff, our main pastors and elders to come in the station and clarify that. We are the children of the conference. So we need the participation of our pastors and our elders in the churches, departmental leaders, so that they can be available to lead. There was a time when I was in Windhoek listening, and somebody was explaining the issue of speaking in tongue. And the person in the studio was trying to explain the wrong way. And then I called him. I said, my brother, you don't know how to explain that topic. You must go look for the pastor so that the pastor can come and explain that. So that's how it works. They are only facilitators, and they should give opportunity to everyone, especially our elders, those that we know. We have people that are chosen in the churches, even in the local churches, that should come and do that. And I think they are trying. And that's how, in the beginning we were struggling, and then we brought Sister Annette so that, at least she can be able to guide, even though she also makes mistakes. We are human beings. Even myself, I make mistakes. But then please, let's work together with the church members, and so that we can make our work much easier.
I would like to appreciate what the AWR is doing, and we need to be proud of it. not only to be proud of it by saying words, but we need to support it. We invest much in this world, but we don't invest in heavenly things. So I would like to urge everyone who is here that we go and take this information to people who are not here to support this department. If it is a department or a ministry, I don't know. So we need to come together and support each other in one way or another so that this message will go. The way it goes quickly is the way our Jesus will come soon. That is just my encouragement to my fellow brothers and sisters. Let us work together. Amen.
I would like to start with a comment. I would like to commend AWR for the work which they are doing, especially in Kavango. So I'm saying, as we are standing here right now, there are people who are fighting with their spirit there. Even pastors from other denominations, they want to join. But now there's fears of the people, how do other people see them. Myself, even at my workplace, there are 2 colleagues who I'm working with who are now enrolled with VOPs. And some others, they are also now starting. They are even asking for the guard pods. I have a concern, maybe a question at the same time, about staffing. I understand we have people who lack training, who are not qualified. I thought to ask this question, is it not maybe possible for the director to organize training even for our church members, those who would like maybe to volunteer even at part-time level to assist in that regard, at least to stand in for or before we get the qualified. Another concern, which is in form of a question also, is about funds. Is there maybe a way in our radio programs where we can perhaps have programs which can generate some revenues for at least to assist our radio stations to cater for some other things? The other concern, which is also in a question form, is the tower cost. In the presentation, we heard that the tower is very expensive. Yes, indeed, but is there's no other way perhaps our AWR can maybe acquire these towers? Can we not ourselves maybe see if we can maybe buy the material or buy something to put some of this tower just to minimize the rental amount or the rental monthly amount? Those are, I think, is my questions.
The towers that we are talking about, I mentioned here, I said we are working with AWR at the GC to make sure that we put our own network towers around the country. And that will at least help us so that we shouldn't spend more money on hiring on network towers. So that project is in the making. We already submitted that proposal to AWR. We had a meeting with them and they are willing somehow to help us. But we need the support of the church members here so that we can do that. Advertisement, yes, we can get money from there. But in many places around the world that has been discouraged because, you know, there is a lot of conflict in what goes around those adverts that we bring in. So we didn't want to dilute them with the message that we provide on radio because our radio stations are purely gospel.
I'm going to the point. I'm the person who I want things to be done. I was calculating here for the tower, which is needing 9 million. And I was calculating to say some of us, we may live here thinking that, hey, 9 million, where are we going to get it? Instead of us paying those people, we are going to save that money to employ our own who are qualified. So I was calculating here to say 9 million, and we are a member of 12,000. I just calculated 10,000. I left the 2,000 aside. So 9 million divided by 10,000 members. You find that each member will give 900, only 900. And then if you put it in monthly, 900 divided by 12 months, which means next year we can have these towers. It is $75 per month. Are we failing to give 75? If you put that 900 in 6 months, for those who are able to give a 100 and above, it is $150 per month. It means in 6 months, if we are giving 150, 10,000 members, we are done with those 9 towers, and we are not going to pay NBC and anyone. So I'm just encouraging you to say, let us not go home with this big, with a big number. Let us cut it down. If we can give to our funeral covers, to our whatever covers, 200 or 300 per month, we can give $75 per month, and until the end of the year, next year, we are done with these towers. Thank you so much.
Each time when you talk of expenses, don't just talk of things are expensive. Because as we are here, we want to go and report to our people that to run a radio station is expensive, but this is the cost of one station. Because we are told that there are about 4, 5, 6 stations that are running today. But we want to know the cost of running one station so that it is very easy for us to explain as to what the costs are. So that is my suggestion, that when we talk of anything that is expensive, when we talk of money, let's be realistic and say this is the cost. Thank you very much.
The tower that we have here in Katima, we are paying it, I think it's around about $7,000 to $10,000 per month. The tower in Rundu, we are paying it $7,000 per month. The tower in Enana, where we have put a radio station, a transmitter now, I think it's around about $8,000 to $9,000 per month. The same with the other towers around, because we don't own our own network towers where we put our antennas. So these people, they want us to pay every month. NBC and Telecom and Powercom, where we rent these towers. So they do business as well on their towers. So these are the challenges that we are facing.
I just want to give a word of appreciation to the AWR. I don't know why they did not put it in the report. They just said they have got branches like Divundu and Shamahiho. You see, Shamahiho, it's also a testimony on itself. Because there were members that were belonging from the other church. They used to worship. I think there are more than 10 people. As they were listening to the radio, they got the truth. And then that person who was heading the family was a pastor. So he told those members of the family that, no, from now on, we are not going to follow this. As this church, we are going to change and follow that of what we are hearing from the radio. That's how they came about, but it's a big group of people. I thank you. I hope they could just put it and state it in their information.
I'm here just to inform my brother here that their signal ends at Bukalo. The signal don't reach at Ngoma there via the floodplain areas. Ibu, most of the people usually ask about the radio. Which channel should we switch? Because they are trying to listen what these guys are trying to tell us. Thank you.
Lutahe kuba AWR baize musebezi omutuna imiwaire siyabona balike mwali bakamwani mu babulezi babamu kuliko ne kufita mateni imini seberisize mushobowo bakensa kuli wali kufiteramo kisikuwa sisa torokiwi wo walo na watoroki wa utata neni byatakuli ufite kubani babazi basikuwa kamukana kuli bautwe kuli kati mwasirozi kubulezi chwani kwa manani muna yani yasa akeni kumungabu piro mulimu kaba AWR Luitumezi.
The Katima station, the Katima Mulilo station has the ability and the capability to reach far places. You need people with these technical skills. I think some of the people here, like my elder, yes, they know this work, especially the transmission work, for us to install there. Now, these people are not Adventists. We just hire them, they come and do the work. The thing is that the challenge that we faced is that after the installation was done, we realized that the work somehow was substandard because our station could not reach as far as we wanted it to reach. And for us now to come and change that, we needed funding to do that. To tell you the truth, when the station is down, sometimes if our station has a problem in Rundu, just to send those people to come and fix that one, it cost us 30,000, more than 30,000, just one trip to come and fix it. So it's really an expensive exercise, but it is in the process. Once the funding is just available, we will be able to come and change that so that many people around Katima will be able to hear the radio station.
My question is on the recommendation that you came up with. Number 2, that is funding model. Finding a funding model. I'm a little bit confused because you did not explain, though I saw in your report, you said that negligence of tithe and offering hampers the funding of the radio. But what do you mean specifically on the funding model that you've recommended? What do you plan on, or do you have something already in place that you would recommend to say this would at least work? To say, for example, just the example that you've given, maybe a commitment that comes from the churches, or maybe a certain portion from maybe just to explain on that. The next question is on the employee. It is your challenge, unqualified staff that are running the affairs of the radio, but you need to employ key staff. That's what you made in your recommendation. What I want to know is, who are you recommending this to? And how do you want this recommendation to be fulfilled? Because at the end of the day, we might see it as a recommendation, but later on it's not fulfilled. We run again another 3 years, and we come back again to see the same problem. Maybe I think you need to clarify. What triggered me most is this is a statement that you made. I don't think I saw it in the report. It's a statement that you made to say, we run our own affairs. That means there are 2 possibilities, or rather let's take it as one, that you are an entity within an entity, because according to the protocol or how you were introduced as conference staffs. So that means this should be an entity within a conference organization. So if you are running your own affairs, it means these finance issues of funding models and all the stuff should have been planned already. What is your strategy come 3 years from now? Because I just went through the NNC strategy. I saw evangelism, which is your core function, reaching the inaccessible area. But unfortunately, it's so brief. Maybe just try to elaborate more on that as well.
The country director who is here is the country director for AWR, is the finance director, is the programs director, is everything. And then we have created the AWR to say we want to see souls coming in. And this is a very powerful tool for evangelism. A very, very powerful tool that even, ministerial wise, you can do management of local churches, but in terms of evangelism, this can turn the kingdom of darkness upside down, this tool. But if we don't commit ourselves to the funding model that is being proposed, we are just even going to weigh the country director. We are just going to weigh him and blame him for a lot of things. So as long as we are registered members of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, if they come up with debit orders, we are doing debit orders for furniture and cars that we are driving and so forth. Why not a $50 debit order for the work of God? For ADRA, for AWR, so that we have these institutions running, funding, the basic, at least, needs of the institution. Just funding the basic needs. The rest of the other donations can now come, but just to fund the basic needs, so that we see these institutions running. We must not run away from debit orders. When they will be brought to our local churches to say, this is a list of debit orders, sign them. Let's sign for those $50, those $20, so that we can hasten the coming of our Lord. Amen.
That will make a difference. Imagine if every one of us here donates $20, how much are we going to have? Now, if we say the 2 conferences do that, how much are we going to have per month to be able to run the radio station? We will have a lot. So it's just for all of us to understand in our churches and everywhere where we are, that giving towards this is giving towards the mission of Jesus Christ. At least we have a tool that Jesus has given to us. This is the gift that God has given to the people of this country, so that we can reach many people with the gospel of Jesus. But we just need to use it properly, so that God can be known in the homes of many people. We spoke about funding model here. What I meant, you see, at the moment, the only stable funding that we have is the appropriation that comes from the 2 conferences. That is not enough. My elder there spoke about us having to give details and so forth. Unfortunately, here we are not giving the financial report, but just mission work. But we have to mention this because it's part of our challenge. The key is finances. Because when we have the finances, we can employ a financial person. That's a key for me, because we do transaction and payment every time, but we don't have anyone to do our books. So that is a key person for me, as my elder there was saying. So I have to make sure that this finances is in order, marketing is in order, everything is just on one person, and it cannot work.
Let me say the entire world. I believe those 3 angels' message were representing the system which is being used today, flying in the midst of heaven. Radio is sending the message by flying all over and reaching everybody. Though you like it or not, as soon as you tune to the radio, you'll get the message. And I want to tell you that I love this Adventist World Radio instrument which is being used. I always listen to our radio here. It's my favorite. Sometimes I get very much disappointed. I try to tune to the radio, it's nowhere to be found. I try again, it's quiet. Oh, I say, Lord, what is happening? I've troubled. The other day, I spoke to to my cousin here, Sam. I said, you young people, we've got the gift of, technology. This radio should never take sometimes the whole day without working. You need to contribute your technology to this machine. Whenever you hear that it's not working, please, I spoke to him, I spoke also to Kambinda. What I want to say is let's make sure that our radios, wherever we have these radios, we make sure that the devil should not keep them quiet for a day. Let them work every time. And I want to appeal to you, brothers and sisters who are here. We've got a lot of cattle here in Namibia. Here in Caprivi, thousands of cattle are there. And most of them are being stolen, going to the thieves in Zambia. Let's make sure that if you don't have money, donate a beast. And I'm pretty sure that those Caprivians who are here, who have got cattle, if they would donate cattle, each Adventist, you donate a beast, there would be a lot of money to maintain these machines here. Let's do that. And I promise, I will donate, before the end of this year, I will donate a beast towards the maintenance of these machines of ours. And therefore, brothers and sisters, let's do it wherever you are. We have pastors and we have elders. The way we do when we, give our tithe in our beasts, let's do the same. You can call, invite the pastor, tell him that I'm donating this beast towards the maintenance of the radio. And I'm sure the work of evangelizing through the radio will not stop. May God bless us, my brothers and sisters. Don't let those cattle go to Zambia being stolen while you have a lot of them. Give them to the work of God instead of just letting them being stolen, dying of sicknesses and so forth, without having done anything to support the work of evangelizing through the radio. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. But I promise, these are my elders of this church. One day I'll invite them to go and tell them. Now, of course, now beasts are very lean because of this drought. But when they'll get fed, I will call my pastors or elders. I'll take them to my cattle post and show them that I'm donating this towards the maintenance of this radio of ours in Katima. Even the house itself, where it is being operated, is a very tiny house. We should make sure that we build a better house there and get, proper machines. When I get there, sometimes I sit there and look and I compare our small machines with those of NBC. Well, I sometimes feel very ashamed that we are so many, we fail to get better equipment. Thank you very much, my brothers and sisters. I just wanted to bring that appeal.
Thank you, Pastor.
People were going to, if we were all going to have that spirit, determination, desire, so that we can give towards this mission work, I believe that we are going to change a lot of things. And the same words also, the same strategy that is Sister Kweba also gave here. These are some of the things that we need to do as a church so that we can be able to fund mission work. Our network, sometimes we use internet to broadcast from the studio to the tower. And at times when telecom is down, our station is down. And when telecom signal is a problem, then we also face that problem. That's why you hear that sometimes the station is down, sometimes. But then I always tell our staff member that when the station is down, the same day something must be done so that it's back on air. So that it shouldn't stay even for more than 2 days. When you know that's not an acceptable thing. Sometimes it's just something that we can just switch, you know. I think it was the day before yesterday it was off. And I just went to the tower there. I found it was just because the power was down. And when it came back, the device there could not start on its own. So I had to reset it just to press a button. The station was on. So if we don't do something, it can stay for 2 weeks and we are thinking we have a big challenge. So these are some of the things that we also inform our station managers. The Bible in the book of Matthew chapter 24 verse 14 says, "And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached to the whole world for a witness." Thank you. May God bless you.